Hello, everyone. We have with us the most enthusiastic batch, or I would say, okay, one of the most enthusiastic batch of IITM, 71 to 76 batch here with us today to talk about the lovely days at IITM. So I have with me first to take over and uh, and introduce the rest of the batch here, Mr. Prakash Khane, who's from the civil department and from the famous Tapti Hostel. He's now based in Pune, and he's been in the business, including construction, organic farming, and in horticulture for a very long time. A very great supporter of the IIT Madras Alumni Association, and his contribution to the chapter in Pune has been very immense. And thank you, Prakash. Thank you for joining us today. Over to you, Prakash.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Lata. Let me now introduce my batchmates to you. First, I will introduce Bharat who is in Bangalore. Bertie for us. He's done electrical engineering. He was in Ganga Hostel. The gap between his pre-career days at IIT and post-career golfing days are filled with positions of high responsibilities in the entire Middle East. After returning to India in 2000, he started his own business. Bertie.
Oh, so I start talking?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. See, the earliest days at IITM, which we remember, the Josh that we had in Mandakini Hostel as teachers, we were a diverse bunch of chaps putting into a melting pot, and what fun it was. Even the ragging was great fun. We had such innovative ragging. It helped us to get to know our seniors. We made great friends with them. Then when we went on to our departments from the second year, the serious mugging for periods, mixed with great fun and outdoor activities, and always the thrill when there was a shout of period postponed. I'm sure all of you remember that. That was, those are all such nice memories. Now, after IIT, we cannot really replicate this mix which we had, which was hard work, campus life. We had lots of like-minded friends, which is the great part of it. And all the friends, all the fun. Now, these are friends we made for life, all with no hang-ups, irrespective of what position life had taken them to. And the fact is that we remember IIT and our classmates and their nicknames so fondly after almost 40 years. So this itself shows you what a great institution IIT Madras was for us and continues to be. Favorite spot, it was not HSB or ESB, which I suppose as a good student I should be saying, but actually it was the small corridor in the parapet we had just outside our rooms. So our wing on second floor of Ganga Hostel was our favorite hangout. We were all great, and matters of at that time earth-shaking importance would be spoken about. Great fun there. And now, looking back at what this was, especially now in the present context of now you have all the Black Lives Matter and the racial caste discrimination, etc. We were all at that time 16, 17-year-olds from very diverse social, economic, geographic backgrounds. But the common thread was we had all gotten through the JEE, and we had all been put together in this place. So the chaps from smaller South Indian towns and those many from regional language schools who had come in, who had studied in regional languages and were being exposed to English at that time. We are all put together with this boisterous lot of characters from Delhi, Bombay, Pune, Calcutta, Bangalore, etc. So it must have been quite a culture shock for everybody. But I think that's what molded us, and each group benefited from the experience. So you have all these diverse chaps with different backgrounds put together, and that was a great experience. Now, the 5 years at IITM teaches you basically to think fast, to think on your feet, and to make logical decisions quickly, and also to take on any tasks. So I would recommend that use this. Of course, there's also the knowledge of your subject, which has helped all of us to come up. But in addition to that, we have these attributes. So all I would say to everyone is just go ahead and enjoy life. Okay.
So Ashok Rao from Chennai, and we used to call him Boni, but I'll come to that a little later. He has done mechanical engineering. He was in Godavari Hostel. Afterwards, he did MBA at IIM Calcutta, worked for Godrej for a few years, and then set up his own industry in Chennai with over 100 employees. He was nicknamed Boni because of his modeling career way back in the 60s as a star model for Bonvita. वैसे ये राजेश खन्ना भी बन सकता था, लेकिन IIT में पहुंच गया. Boni.
Thank you. Thank you, Kane. So I was in the same batch of crooks whom you see here, 5 of us, 4 of us in front of you. Now imagine a life where eating and drinking is mandatory, attending workshops and attending labs is also mandatory, but attending classes is optional. And you live in a world which is completely cocooned for 5 years. We had a 5-year course those days, mind you. It's not that any of us ducked or something like that. We had 5 years courses. And for 5 years, in the prime of our youth, between the ages of 17 and 22 or so, now such an environment propelled each one of us to expand our minds, hone our innate talents, and create new beliefs in unimaginable ways. Most of this personal growth has ostensibly happened through mere interaction with our peers, either in the hostel corridors or while walking together to class, or moving in small groups towards Taramani or Narmada canteen for an after-dinner chai. But this is not to say that our professors had no role to play in this. I mean, we always keep forgetting our professors who quietly did things for us without our realizing, molding us all the time. But we remember the interaction we had with our friends more than we had with our professors. But all said and done, in the end, we somehow find time to play games, go for sports, and of course study. Well, that was IIT for most of us. And if an outsider to IIT is told that this is what we did for 5 years, he's bound to think that nothing good can come out of this kind of a curriculum. But they're all wrong. After living in such a bubble for 5 long years, each of us went in our own ways, some going for post-graduation into sciences or business, some joining some reputed companies, pursuing engineering careers, and some went abroad to do their MSs to the promised land and so on and so forth. But irrespective of where we branched out, each one of us seemed to be able to respond to our environment without any problem. Somehow, after being cocooned for 5 years, we branch out to various parts of the world, but we still seem very comfortable with the environment we are in afresh.
Yeah.
But some of us are lucky to have a few of our IIT friends in our next careers. For example, you joined IIM, you may have found about 8 or 10 people with you. Or if you have joined Tata, Telco or Tisco, you would have found 6 or 8 people with you. So to a small extent, there are some guys who were lucky enough to have some friends from the IIT Madras with them in the next phase of the course. But irrespective of where we branched out, each one could respond to the environment in a very successful manner. But in spite of all this, we still missed out on Saturday night movies at OIT, the Sunday morning bicycle rides to Elliott's Beach, swimming there in Elliott's Beach, having Satkudi juice at Chandran's, or some dinner at Waldy's, dinner at Coronet, or celebrating something or the other which could come up any time of the year or any time of the month. The things we missed out, of course, were inter-hostel competitions, sports and culturals, the Mardi Gras, the inter-hostel rocket war during Diwali, and the list can go on. And know that nothing could bring all this back to us, but we do realize that at the end of the day, it's IIT which has given all us the following. It has molded our character and made us all of us what we are today. In spite of being loud, reckless, and mischievous, the wooded surroundings and the air in IIT somehow smoothened us out to make us desirable world citizens. The bonds we formed during the IIT days, these are the strongest. For example, when we meet another IITian, even if it after 20 years, or typically when we meet on the first silver reunion, the conversations begins to flow from the time we parted ways. As if the in between 20 or 25 years didn't exist at all. I mean, we the conversation starts from where we left off, which is a prime example of how close or how good friends we made with our other IIT batchmates. Now, what the third thing which the IIT has given us is the tremendous brand value, and IIT is somewhere up there. The brand value is somewhere in the stratosphere. It's not some minor brand value or something like that. It's a very, very, very big brand value. And how did you get that? Of course, we can take some credit for what we have done and the way we performed. But then I would spare a thought for our professors who have, without making it obvious, rounded off all our rough edges, and not to forget, they also made up of our questions and for the JEE, which has got us into the IIT in the first place. So I would give equal marks to the professors as well as the IIT friends to make us what we are today. Jai Hind.
Yes. Now the next, Mr. Vikram Kasbekar, the boss man from Gurgaon. We call him Kasbi. He has done mechanical. He was in Saraswati. He started with Telco, then joined Birla, and now Executive Director Operations in Hero Motors, the first employee to be on board of Hero. Kasbi.
Hi guys. Prakash, one correction, it's Hero Motocorp.
Okay.
And Hero Motors is one more company. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay.
Landing at Madras Central was a culture shock. I was born, brought up in Indore, but had an inkling about Tamil. And that too, my luggage didn't come by GT, but was delivered by the Southern Express. And I was not carrying any stuff. So I had to go out. I bought my first lungi at Moore Market and auto reach Mandakini. As soon as I entered, promptly I was ranked by some of the incumbents in Mandakini, and that was great fun. Subsequently, I think the city grew on you thanks to IITM. Wonderful facilities there all over, and especially the students, cricket, horse riding, yachting, beach, you name it, it was there. Needless to say, of course, we had to study hard, work hard, and reach a, what should I say, a wonderful opportunity for all of us. The best moments of my life were at Saraswati in IITM, the hostel life, non-veg mess in charge for 4 years. As I said, study hard, play hard, have great fun. Saturday and Sunday used to be cricket. After three periods we used to have every alternate day. And I learned how soothing it was to play in the hot sun and eat tair sadhan. That's one of my favorite stuff even now. And, the city, of course, is the hottest. The OAT movies on Saturday night was wonderful. After playing cricket, have a nice bath, take the air pillow and watch the movies at OAT, sleep well, great fun. Late night movies, sometimes we used to go out, have the triple Sunday at Buhari, it was $4. And come back scouting late at night for meals late meals in the hostel. That was great fun. Biking, some of us used to bike all the way to Devi and pull the guys on the motorcycle with our two hands. 2 guys on the bike and 2 guys on the cycle. It was risky, no doubt, but those were young days where sometimes we do become rash. Then land up at Chandran, or maybe after the PRO studying during the week, take the bikes and go to the gate and have Satpudi juice. 70 paise Satpudi juice at Chandran. Awesome. Not to forget, Pony did mention about the Mardi Gras festival and the hostel days. The inter-hostel competition was thrilling. And I remember getting hammered in boxing by a puny shorty. Too big for me. He landed a couple of blows on my face and I was really sapped. But yes, above all, we made friends and friends for life. I am what I am today thanks to IITM. I am for IIT. Thank you.
Okay. Now the fourth one, Mr. Sandesh Sawant from Pune. प्यार से लोग इसे savvy कहते हैं. He has done MS after graduating from IIT in USC, Columbia. Worked for Mobil Oil for 20 years. Now he has come back and he is a consultant to many organizations in and around Pune. Did splendid work for Rotary Club in Pune for many, many years. You guys may not believe me if I tell you, Savvy plays a full football match every Sunday, even today. Savvy.
Thank you, Prakash, for your kind words. Yes, I play a lot of sports even to this day, because I right now play football on Sunday, but not during COVID. But I also play golf and I do a lot of cycling. I used to be the institute sports secretary in my final year. I think that explains. So I used to play, like Kasbi said, we used to play all the games, and games was what kept me going and alive in IIT, because you have to play hard. Again, Kasbi's words, study hard, because you have to study hard. Otherwise, there's a lot of pressure, to explain. Not that our parents knew too much about what was, as far as the grades were concerned, but it was fun. And when I was in school in Bishops in Pune, I used to, be, one of the top students. But then when I went to IIT Madras, I realized that, the rest of the students are far smarter than me. There are lots of much smarter students than me. But anyway, coming back to campus, like again, a lot of these same words which these guys have used: study hard, play hard, enjoy the camaraderie of everyone. Like Bertie said, we have people from all over the place. We didn't know, whether it was Jamshedpur or Indore or Delhi or Bangalore, Chennai or further south or even Kerala. It didn't matter to us actually, because we had, we just, had a lot of fun. And one important thing during those 5 years was that as long as you studied hard, played hard, and kind of, it was a very focused life, like Boni said, there was not much outside distractions. We didn't go too far out to look for girls or anything else. In those days, so it was good to just study hard, play hard, and also hence you had no worries, and generally very little tension, except when he had periods, which was all the time. And we had a basically relaxed, happy life, as long as you were able to study hard and play hard and all that kind of stuff. And like all these guys said, you really made friends for life. There's no doubt about it, whether it's after 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, 45 years, until we kick the bucket, really. And that is really true. We always, very easy to get along with any of our classmates or anybody from IIT for that matter. A lot of this credit which, Boni and even Kasbi gave to the professors, I think that's very important, because they do not get enough credit for how they have, I would say molded us, but certainly taught us. Because a lot of times in some of the subjects, especially chemical engineering, controls and all that, I never used to understand anything in class. I remember Professor Anand used to teach thermodynamics. He had just come back from Florida to teach, but you have to go back and, try and study, have some of your smarter guys explain to you all this. So that was another good thing we did, was study together. We learned a lot by studying together. I don't think if I had not studied together, whether I would have really done all that well. Of course, hostel life, campus life is just a fantastic, you can't beat that kind of life. OAT, the best place on campus, movies every Saturday. We had meals and then took a pillow and then went there, didn't matter. And of course, we used to go for other reasons other than the movies. There also used to be the inter-hostel entertainment program, which was excellent, which was a lot of fun. Mardi Gras, another fun event all over campus, but mostly in the OAT. And of course, a lot of boxing. I was big into boxing because I did a little boxing in Bishop, so I was quite good in IIT. Although I did get bashed up in my first year. Chow bashed me up, in the finals, if I remember. And some of you guys may remember. I was in Mandagini. But yeah, boxing was another big thing, which for as far as OAT is concerned. And like I said, advice for the juniors, not much advice really I can give. I think IIT teaches you a lot of problem solving. It doesn't matter what the problem is, and I think that was the good part about it, because most of the things was problem solving. You didn't have to, except for history and economics and all that, you didn't have to mug up too much. Also, another advice is not to take yourself too seriously, because you have to understand that there will be good times in life and there will be bad times in life, but both these times will come to an end. So you just have to try and make the maximum of the happy times, and try and be strong enough to be resilient enough to overcome the difficult times, just like we are doing right now in this COVID times. That's all I got. Thank you very much, and pleasure to be from IIT Madras.
So I start. Okay. I for IITM.
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 Yeah.
You
Thank
can
you.
do virtual
Thank you.
thumbs up also.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much. It was
Okay.
very